settings. I'll
Okay,
be right back.
okay.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing well too, thanks.
Yes, good morning.
Good
Hi,
morning.
How are you, Jan?
I'm doing well. I love the color of your room.
Oh, thank you. I'm at my daughter's, so I'm in her office. So this is her, and she's a preschool teacher. So I'm slipping into her office while she's at school. She's
Wow.
working to open up her room.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
both a niece and a grandniece who teach kindergarten.
Pardon me?
I have a niece and a grandniece who
Oh.
both teach kindergarten.
Oh, yeah, she's in preschool. So she has a little ways to go. I mean, she's teaching the kids that are a little bit older. Let me see if this works now. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay, Susan?
No. Let's see, try now.
Can you
Can
hear
you
me
say-
now?
No, I'm not real comfortable with all this. I usually have my granddaughter fix it for me. Good morning, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Julie, your mute is on.
Yeah. Let me see.
There you are.
I love noticing all the different wall colors. It's just
I
fascinating.
know. We were just saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I used to have walls, all of those colors, you know, within several homes.
Mine is a sky blue.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very
love it.
soft sky blue, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are some in the painting group the first Saturday of the month?
No.
I am.
Very good. Okay.
Hi,
I am
Susan.
also. Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Jan. Hi, Sue. Hi, Bridget.
Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning.
Susan.
I'm trying to get my Bluetooth on, so I'll be with you in a minute.
Barb. Colleen.
Yes.
Did you have your walls painted?
No,
Or-
I'm in Michigan this week.
Oh.
Change of scenery.
Okay.
No, I'm not giving up my red walls.
I know they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's great.
Red is a very good color.
It is a very good color.
It's my favorite color.
Ah.
Oh, wow.
Well, and there's a story behind them. I wanted red walls, so I did red walls, and my furniture is kind of a forest green. And after I got it all done, I looked up and realized it was the colors that was in my great-grandmother's dining room when I was a kid.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's
Oh.
totally unconscious on my part, but I was like, oh, that's why I like these colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'm having trouble with my Bluetooth, I guess. I'll just come back and listen.
I'm
Yeah,
being told that I have internet trouble too, and Colleen cut out a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it'll go on later probably, but not right now. I'll be right back.
I
Okay.
just never know what the Wi-Fi is going to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Did anyone sign up for the next sessions?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah,
I
not yet.
suppose look.
Well, we have time. We have time.
So the next session is the one where he views one thing at a time. Is that
The
it? Yeah.
chakras.
Okay, no, I haven't done that yet either.
Type of knowing, I think.
Type
Is,
of no.
Advanced.
Yeah.
I took this session last year and I loved it so much. I took it again this year because things stick with me better the second time around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, me too, Sue. I'm finding this easier to take in the second time.
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
since you've done that before, is it just that it's offered only at the beginning of the year? Like in September?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Because that's what I was thinking of doing. I think before I do the next one, I'm going to do this one.
Ugh.
Hi, Ellen, Arlene.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm not Bridget, I'm Vince.
Hi, Vince.
Hi, Vince.
Tim's having a little trouble getting in, so he'll be in momentarily, hopefully.
I understand that.
No. There he is.
Oh, nice hat.
Right.
I had a great intuition that I should bring a squash from my garden to the class I went to Sunday. And I thought, this is the weirdest thing to bring a squash. I do have flowers, so I'll just explain that I had this knowing to bring the squash. And when I asked, are you the host or hostess? She said, no, my husband is. I said, well, I was told last night to bring a squash. So I know it's odd, but I have these flowers for you and I have this squash. And she said, oh, he was just asking for a squash.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How good you listen to your intuition.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, thank you.
All right, cool. Can you all hear me?
I hear you.
Yes.
Okay, great. I was having some technical difficulties. For some reason, everything wanted to update. Guess it's that time.
You look like you're in your garage again, Tim.
Caught. Yeah, you know, sometimes that's about the only place you can find some space.
Yes. Quiet.
Yeah, the kids have a half day of school, so
Mhm.
it's a circus in there.
Not to be the ringmaster today.
So even though the backdrop is, you know, a little less attractive, hopefully it'll be a little bit quieter. All right. So, yeah, I assume we have most of the folks who are going to join today. And so why don't we just check in? And Julie, you were sharing a story kind of about an experience with intuition. That's awesome. Yeah, anyone else have experiences using these tools or in meditation, in life, things you're becoming more and more aware of?
Yes. I'm beginning to see color.
Nice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is Bridget feeling okay?
Vince?
Yeah, she's double booked today, so she's on another meeting.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, we're glad you're with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was doing the clearing, the roses, and I just went with whatever color popped up in my mind, and I started with the brown one, and then I took it out and watched it kind of explode. And then there was another brown one. There were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 brown ones before something else appeared. That was pretty interesting. So I must have a lot of stuff around brown.
Yeah. Any questions? All right. That's either a good sign or a really bad sign. I don't know.
We're ready for more.
Awesome. So today we're going to work with having more awareness with the space around you, your aura, how to work with the energy of your aura, create more energetic space for yourself. And of course, we're going to review everything we've done thus far, kind of in the beginning, at least do a beginning meditation. And I want to bring back into the swing of our initial meditation, the body awareness and chakra awareness. Last class, I kind of scratched that to create a little bit more space for learning, creating, and destroying roses, which is a big topic. Maybe you can see that there's significant implications to being able to do that. Starting to see pictures, see that behind all of our emotional reactions are pictures, interpretive frameworks, ways that we have recorded our experience as a being, even taken on pictures from other people, from culture, from parents, from family, friends, teachers. You could say in a way that the interpretive structures of our consciousness are made up of many, many pictures. Sometimes these pictures are just little bits of information, or other times they're very holographic in the sense that they have all sorts of sensory data stored in them. Like it's a picture that is like a full body spectrum experience where there's smell and sound and taste and visual material, auditory material, thoughts, beliefs, everything. And those are when you encounter a picture like that, it's very easy to just kind of step right into the picture, and it's so real that you make it your reality. And then why does this thing keep happening? Why is this relationship this way? Why do I keep responding in this form or fashion? Well, the picture is so real that you just kind of step into the picture. You haven't differentiated enough from the picture to actually see it as a picture, right? The recognition that something is a picture starts to create space, especially when you can move into neutrality, see it, it no longer has your energy and power in it as much. You start to differentiate from it, and maybe even have some amusement and compassion for the ways in which you suffered as a result of believing that picture to be real. And that recognition is 90% of the work. And then, boom, you blow it up, That's the last 10%. Your energy comes back to you. Anyone else's energy that's in those pictures will be neutralized and go back to them. So it's actually, it doesn't harm anyone. It's actually kind of a gift. You're neutralizing the energy. It gets recycled. Okay.
So Tim,
Yeah.
would image be the same as picture?
Yeah. Yeah, you could call it an image. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tim?
Yep.
So I had this thing that happened to me this week. My neighbor's mother died, and I know her. And the thoughts and the pictures that I came to at one point in the last 3 days was my mother's death, which is 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember thinking of a place and what was happening then, and it was like I was watching it again.
Right.
And so I was trying to use these tools, and it did shift. I mean, somewhere I realized, okay, this is when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't blow it up as much as I make it all kind of like sparkly or something. That's how it, to me, is like star or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to, usually my reaction would be, I'd be just in tears.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to just kind of take a breath and go, no, I'm thinking about Susan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was very different than other times when something like that has happened. I can bring immediately that feeling, of my mother. And, I go into the picture.
Totally. That's brilliant. Yeah, that really says a lot about that you're quickly integrating these tools into your experience. That's really cool. And that'll be more and more of a daily occurrence for all of you, where you encounter something, an event, a person, a situation, an energy, because everything is energy. So you encounter an energy on some level, and on some level we record our experience. It's very associative. Kind of the feeling part of ourselves, the aspect of our soul that is in the experience of our life collects the data and stores it into like images, categories. It like synthesizes the information in an associative network or framework. And so when you encounter an energy that lights up pictures and images in your interior space, then you'd call that a matching picture. So something about the occurrence with your neighbor's death lit up all the like matching energies in your space that you were ready to let go of, or ready to bring into conscious awareness and release. So you had an opportunity, even though that happened 40 years ago that your mother passed away, there was still some energy, some grief, some pain, some whatever, right? Some energy there that you were able and ready to release at this time. And by the grace of God, you encountered a matching energy that was similar enough to the energy of some of that content. And so those images and information arise in your conscious awareness for you to review and say, and then you kind of get the information and then release it.
Wow.
Okay. So matching pictures. When I'm giving readings, pretty much the ritual of giving a reading in a lot of ways is I'm able to see energies that are similar to information or energy that I have already in my consciousness in some form or fashion. You know, it's like you might not be able to see something that you can't see in yourself or don't have in yourself in a way. And so the matching pictures. So I see a picture in somebody's space, someone's auric layers. I say hello to that picture, and then I might right away see what is matching in myself and be like, oh, okay, I have an opportunity to clear that. And I just, off to the side or whatever, I blow the rose of the matching picture. And, you know, we're doing this all the time. If you're a counselor or you work with people, there's the energies in your space that are similar to the energies that you're encountering will naturally come to your forefront and awareness for you to review. And as you know how to now to clear that energy, then you can clear it and then say hello to them, right? You know, sometimes what happens is a matching picture gets lit up in our space and we're relating to the picture and not to the actual being that's in front of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And they're like, hey, are you seeing me? And like, yeah, I think so. But actually you're looking at something in your space.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tim, I have one more question.
Yeah.
How is this, as I'm listening, it sounds a little bit like memories or memory.
Yeah.
So would you say then that a memory is something like an energy we carry with us from like a certain event or a certain kind of encounter, or when you said energy, is a certain kind of energy that we carry with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So memories are often stored in the form of images. Sometimes memories can be, you might have memories that seem more like just feelings, you know, or don't have a whole lot of imagery to them, but you can also look at those, you know, even though it might not be a ton of imagery to it, you look at it and it looks like a sunny day or something, you know, like it's yeah. So we store our memories as pictures.
As images, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What if you feel as if you store your memories as feeling states without pictures?
Yeah, sometimes that can be. Yeah, especially like very, very early memories. Often those implicit memories will be very feeling oriented, but it also could be the way that you're retrieving the data. You know, if you're
Often a feeling state comes about without any images attached to it. I'm going to mute myself because there's a lawnmower outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that can certainly be the case. That image, that you can have memories stored kind of as feelings that seem to not have a whole lot of imagery to them. But then, you know, when we start to operate more, you know, down the road, if you continue with this material, I will at first, so right now I'm just laying the groundwork for you to have some of these tools, these fundamental tools, because anything that you were to do next would require that you have some efficiency with some of these tools. And then the next set of classes are going to be kind of specifically to kind of light up the various abilities. So I'm going to have a class where we work with clear sentience, clear feeling, familiarizing ourselves with that ability and what that's like and what the purpose and function of that and all that. And then we'll look at telepathy or thought transmission. And then that's a 5th chakra ability. Look at clairaudience, which is also a 5th chakra ability. Clear knowing, or the ability to, like, intuitive knowingness at a 7th chakra level. We'll look at clairvoyance at a 6th chakra level. And then look at the 4th chakra ability of affinity or oneness, and kind of looking at all those abilities one by one, kind of opening them up and using these tools to kind of reclaim that ability, that space for yourself, and what you can do with it. Okay. Yeah.
Could you say the tools again that you keep referring to?
Yeah, these are kind of like the more common tools, or more, yeah, the tools. Oh, the tools that I'm referring to are things like grounding, running your energy, creating and destroying roses.
What are roses?
That's something we talked about last class. So,
and I'm having a memory loss.
Yeah, so managing mental image pictures. That was something we did last class. I don't know if you were here last class.
I don't think I missed one.
Okay.
You have one a week, right? On Thursday?
Yeah, last Thursday.
Okay.
So we'll kind of play with that a little bit again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
One of the things that that I have always had since the time I've been is a lot of body memory.
Yeah.
Whether it's my stomach, whether it's my head, or my fingers or my feet or whatever it happens to be, and this is where I have had to interpret a lot of these things, what my body is feeling at that particular moment, the part of my body, and so this has been very helpful to me, because when I first started meditating, I had such a hard time shutting my body down.
Mm-hmm.
When I would actually get into I would start perspiring. There was so much energy that I was emitting, but to try to set my body down was very difficult. So I'm constantly looking for ways to deal with that energy, whatever my body has happened to be remembering at particular times. So this has been really good. But the first time we meditated, I was up. I mean, I could feel the energy.
Yeah.
That.
Tim.
Yeah.
Can you hear? Tim.
Yeah.
Did you cover running your energy in your sessions? I heard you say the term, and I guess I didn't grab it.
Okay, yeah, it's another way to say when you connect with the earth and the cosmic energy and move those through the energy channels.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, you can call that running your energy.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so if no one else has any questions, let's start to do the initial meditation.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
I was connecting with what someone said in terms of the grief. I think, Janet, you were describing, and I didn't run a rose last night or create a rose, but I'm thinking maybe I could have. So last night when I was watching the debate, the patronizing quality of the vice president brought up a complementary or parallel image of times where I've been the recipient of similar sort of patronizing comments. And even one of the commentators mentioned that probably most of the women who were watching it probably could call forth experiences of being on the receiving end of something that felt abusive. So it could have been an opportunity where I was like, I can neutralize this and release this energy. Am I correct in kind of playing with it in that way?
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So that's a matching picture, right? So you see something like that, And then you might have experiences like that. It could be a whole bunch of pictures, right? You kind of, first would ground, become aware in the center of your head so you can have some neutrality, and then be aware of the reaction that you're having. It's like the reaction is kind of the effect. In a way, the reaction on a physical or mental, emotional level is like the effect that picture has on your self-system. And then, notice what the reaction is, give it space to be, right? And then see what it's reacting to, the pictures that light up in you. And as you see, it might be many pictures, right? And you just can create like a collection rose right out in front of you and allow some of those pictures to just kind of go into the rose. And you kind of review them as they go in, like, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, pictures. Yeah, I remember that time with my uncle or with my father or that male teacher that I had, or, right? Or my older brother or something, some of those experiences, and let them kind of go into the rose. And then you can, then have some amusement with the situation and some compassion for yourself. And then you can, when you're ready, blow it up, right? And you kind of clear that whole set of energy around that. So the next time you encounter that, it may still bother you, but maybe just a little bit less, or maybe it won't be as charged. It won't have all that added energy to it, right? Just, yeah.
Thank
So-
you.
Yeah.
You answered my question before I asked it.
Yeah.
I ended up with an image of Pence in a rose and I blew him up.
Yeah. And yeah, that's great. So let's yeah. So let's start to find your seat, get comfortable. And give yourself a few healing breaths. And be aware of your breath. Good. Say hello to your body. Let's just take a moment to kind of come into our bodies. You can start with your feet. Be aware in your feet. And just give yourself permission to slow down. Be aware in your calves, lower legs. Be aware in your knees and your upper legs. Be aware in your hips and pelvis. Be aware in your lower abdomen and your lower back. Notice that your body starts to relax and calm down when you come into it and you're present with it. It's like a pet. When you're all distracted and busy and totally out of your body, the pet goes bananas. Come back. And then be aware in your chest, upper torso, upper back. Feel the sensation, the quality. Be aware in your shoulders and your upper arms. Be aware in your lower arms, elbows. And be aware in your wrists and your hands, your fingers. Then be aware of your neck and your throat. Be aware in your face, the sides of your head, the back of your head, your whole head space. Just notice the energy and quality of that space. Be aware in the top of your head. Then be aware in your whole body all at once. And then be aware of being awareness itself, not limited to the body. A part of you is aware in the body. Another part of you is aware of the body. And then choose to be aware in the center of your head. Notice if it feels kind of crowded in there. And you can just simply create a rose right out in front of the center of your head. Let any thoughts, energies, beings, whatever is in the head, in your head space, go into that rose with no effort at all. It's just awareness of that. And then you can blow the rose up, create a little bit more space for yourself in the center of your head. Being aware in the center of your head is a choice that you make as a being. And then it works because you have certainty in spirit that when you decide to be in the center of your head, then you're in the center of your head. And then from the center of your head, say hello to your first chakra, right at the base of your spine. Just be aware of it, give it space to function and be as it is. Notice the center of the earth, however you imagine that. Then create a tree trunk or a cord of energy from your first chakra to the center of the earth. It can be however you choose it to be, any color. Just see it as being large and strong. You can even imagine that it's kind of rooting into the center of the earth, connecting. And this allows you to not only be in your body and have your body be safe, but it also gives you a way to release any energy that you encounter that comes into your space and body. It gives it a way to release. And what's great about your grounding cord is that it's totally neutral, non-resistant, regardless of what type of energy it is. It just does what it does. So let it work. You can even kind of notice all the places in and around you that feel kind of tense or stagnant. And give yourself permission to release. And then watch it kind of go drain down to your grounding cord, into your grounding cord, down your grounding cord, real easily. It's really not something you're doing, it's just kind of you're effortlessly witnessing it. Okay. And then be aware in the center of your head if you moved out of that space. And say hello to the earth energy below your feet. Imagine a quality of earth energy coming up in two streams, one to either foot. And it engages your feet chakra right at the bottom of your, at the bottom of the arch of the foot. And it comes into the foot chakra. And it moves into your feet space. And then it connects in with a channel that runs up the center of the legs, all the way to the knees. The earth energy goes through the knee chakras and becomes more refined. And then into the upper legs, all the way to the base of your spine at your first chakra. And you can imagine about 15% of that earth energy continuing down the grounding cord. And the earth energy is kind of cleaning out your legs, your leg channels, your first chakra, your knee chakras. Have it work for you. Notice what happens. And then say hello to a quality of cosmic energy. Imagine like tapping into a quality of cosmic energy on the edge of the universe. And in doing so, it comes over planet Earth, over you, and it comes down in the exact amount that you need. Imagine it like gold cosmic energy. It engages the back of the 7th chakra at the crown of your head. And it comes into the 7th chakra and into the channels at the back of your body. There's 4 channels, 2 on either side of the spine. And real effortlessly, it kind of streams down the back channels to the first chakra. And imagine about 15% of that energy going down your grounding cord. And actually, for the earth energy, imagine about 85% of it going down the grounding cord. I misspoke before. So about 85% of earth energy is going down the grounding cord, 15% of the cosmic energy. The rest of it is mixing at a first chakra level. And then the mixture of earth and cosmic energy engage the front channels. There's like a little pumping action that happens underneath the first chakra that pushes that mixture of energy up into the front channels. And there's 4 front channels, 2 on either side of the midline. The interior channels go right next to the chakras and actually allow that mixture to go through each chakra. So through the 2nd chakra, the 3rd chakra, 4th chakra, 5th chakra, 6th chakra, and 7th chakra. Then it fountains out like a gold fountain from your head. And then a portion of that energy mixture branches at the chest and goes down the arms and out of the hands. Okay. Just for a moment, just take a look at running earth and cosmic energy. experience. And this is like a whole body cleanse. Cleans out your body, your energy channels, your chakras, and the space around you. Okay. From the center of your head, say hello to the center of your head again. And smile to yourself in the center of your head. And give yourself permission to be happy with yourself just as you are. Imagine a big gold sun above you and have that gold sun collect up all of your life force and energy from anywhere you've put it, today or this week. Collect it up from people, places, things. You may notice that as you collect up your energy, you may have images and memories of different events in the last week. That's where your energy's been. And just collect it up into the gold sun, and then have that gold sun come down into your 7th chakra, filling your 7th chakra up, into your 6th chakra, 5th chakra, 4th chakra, 3rd chakra at your solar plexus, 2nd chakra just below the navel, 1st chakra at the base of the spine. Then have it fill up your whole body system, all the levels of your body, and see it coming out of your skin, filling up the space around you. Okay. Then from the center of your head, just take a moment to say hello to your 1st chakra. Notice if you're saying hello to the energy in or around that chakra that's not yours, or if you're saying hello to your chakra itself. Just choose to say hello to the chakra itself and notice the difference. And then bring your awareness to saying hello to your 2nd chakra from the center of your head. And again, say hello to the chakra. You may notice other energies that are in or around the chakra that aren't yours, or that's fine. Say hello to the chakra itself. And then say hello to your 3rd chakra at your solar plexus. Yep, cool. And then say hello to your 4th chakra at the center of your chest. Be aware of the quality and energy of your 4th chakra. Okay. And then say hello to your 5th chakra, kind of right at the base of your throat. And say hello to the chakra itself. Mm-hmm. And then say hello to the 6th chakra, right behind your forehead. And then your 7th chakra at the crown of your head. and say hello to the chakra itself. Okay. Then let's do one more thing here before we come out of meditation. Okay, so be aware in the center of your head. That's just a reminder. Sometimes it's easy to, in being aware of something, to actually put your attention outside on that thing instead of being aware from the center of your head. So from the center of your head, be aware of the space around you, your energetic space. In the same way that you would say hello to your chakras. Just say hello to the space around you. Notice the quality of it, maybe the color of it, the energies present there. Okay. Notice how much space you feel like you have. Okay. Nothing you have to do about it. You're just kind of being aware. Okay. And then create a rose in front of you and explode that rose just for fun. And then this time, be aware of the first layer of your aura, which is the one that's closest to your body. Just notice the quality of the first layer of your aura. Okay. And then create and destroy a rose in front of you. And then be aware of the second layer of your aura. And create and destroy a rose in front of you. You can just imagine that rose like about a foot in front of your forehead. And then you just imagine that rose destroying. Okay? And then be aware of the third layer of your aura. And then create a rose in front of you and destroy it. Now be aware of the fourth layer of your aura. They kind of go out in concentric circles around your body. Okay. Create a rose directly in front of you and blow it up. Okay. And notice how neutral you are in the center of your head. Just kind of observing things as they are, without having to fix it or change it or alter it in any way. It's just information. And from that point of neutrality, be aware of the fifth layer of your aura. And then create a rose in front of you and destroy it. And then be aware of the sixth layer of your aura. And then create a rose in front of you and blow it up. And then imagine, or just be aware of the seventh layer of your aura. This would be the layer that's furthest from the body. And then blow that up, or blow the rose up. Okay? And then decide to expand your grounding cord from your first chakra to include your hips and body. And then expand your grounding cord to include your whole aura. And then notice what that's like. Give yourself permission to release any energies that are stimulated in your auric space, and just allow the energy to drain off. Okay. And then blow up your grounding cord. Just imagine it. You could either just flick it off and have it just ground into the center of the earth, or create a rose right in front of it, and then put the grounding cord into the rose and blow it up. And then imagine a new cord or tree trunk of energy connected to your first chakra, all the way to the center of the earth. Now this time, give yourself a separate grounding cord for your hips and body, and a separate grounding cord for the space around you. And notice what that's like. There's different ways to do this. You could either expand your grounding cord to include your whole space, or you can give each aspect its own connection to the earth. So you're grounding your first chakra, you're grounding your hips and body, and you're grounding your space. How does that feel? Okay. And then create a big gold sun above you. And this time, just have it kind of, instead of coming into your body, just have it kind of pour down into your whole body, chakras, and space at the same time. Kind of like the rays of the sun. Have it just fill you up. Imagine the energy coming in to be like celebration for life. Life force and energy, vitality, aliveness. And really drink it up like you're absorbing it into your body, your space, your chakras. Okay, and totally fill up. And then you can start to come out of meditation. Maybe rub your eyes, bend over, dump out any excess energy. Awesome. There's a lot of different things that we can do with this. I just wanted to, similar to the chakra meditation, I just wanted to kind of start to stimulate the awareness of this aspect of yourself, the energetic space around you. What I've found to be very interesting during this pandemic is that there's been kind of a effort socially to recognize the whole social distancing thing, giving people 6 feet of space and wearing a mask. As wild and crazy as all that is, it's also kind of cool in the sense that it's actually bringing into people's awareness the concept of space. So not only a recognition that, wow, I have personal space, but other things and people have space that needs to be said hello to and respected. You know, so that recognition of personal space, you know, we definitely, I remember being in an interpersonal communication class. I was probably 17 or 18. And one of the exercises the teacher had us do was to pick a partner and be across the room from each other. And, you know, one person would kind of just be aware of their own self and their experience as the other person walked towards them. And that person would walk towards them, getting closer and closer and closer. And it was an exercise in recognizing, okay, at what point do you start to feel uncomfortable? Or at what point do you recognize that they are in your space? Right? And this was not a psychic class. This had nothing to do with auras. But in a way, that's part of what was being spoken to and about, is this recognition that, wow, I have an energetic space, and so do you. And, you know, with some awareness, I can become aware of when I encounter your space or how I'm in relationship to your space. You know, it can be like, it's almost like energetic hygiene, you know, taking responsibility of your energetic space and being respectful of your own space, being respectful of others' space, and noticing, becoming more and more aware of how we accidentally invade other people's spaces, you know, and that doesn't have to be on a physical level, but it can be an emotional invasion, a mental invasion, energetic, spiritual invasion, right? Where all of a sudden you're in somebody else's space on some level, or vice versa, right? And it requires a lot of forgiveness, because we're all learning here. But first step is starting to build an awareness of the space that you have. Now, someone's energetic space could be like, you know, really huge, or it could be really close to their body. Like, imagine riding the train, the public train. Well, you ever notice that like most people bring their energetic space very close to them, their body? You know, or in like a Asian country where there's a lot of people walking down the street, or New York City, it's like you kind of bring your aura in closer to your body. Whereas when you're like out in a field or out in nature, you might expand it a little bit, you know. Or sometimes, you know, someone walks into a room and everyone notices them because their aura is like 50 feet around them. And so they're just like, they're taking up a lot of space. And you're like, wow, I noticed that person there. And if you go into the grocery store these days and your energy space is more than that 6 feet around you, even if the person's 6 feet away from you, they might eyeball you. Hey, you're getting too close to me. And what they're feeling or experiencing is your energy, you know? So there's a lot to be said about all this, but, you know, when we encounter people, first thing we encounter is their space and the energy, information, pictures, and symbols that are in their space. You know, sometimes that might be how kids on the playground choose who they're going to play with. Like, oh, do you have similar pictures, energies, symbols? Oh yeah, we have the same symbols. Yeah, I understand you. You know, and they kind of resonate energetically with each other before they've even said a word to each other, you know? So we're doing that all the time, encountering the space, the energetic space, reading that energy. Most of the time we don't recognize it, We're not necessarily conscious of that. But you could be, and you could become more aware and conscious of that. So similar to the chakra meditation, bringing awareness to each chakra and just kind of noticing the quality and the energy of the chakras. Notice how they differ as you go up. You know, the first chakra is a very different bandwidth of energy than the sixth chakra or the seventh chakra, right? The energetic quality gets more and more fine, or more fast, faster as you go up the chakra system. And so the various chakras will kind of engage with energy at different bandwidths or different frequencies. Kind of like the first chakra might read a spectrum of energy like this, and the second chakra that, and kind of like that. But you just start to be aware of the quality of your chakra. And one thing you might have noticed, I wanted to point out the difference between being aware of the energy in and around the chakra and then being aware of the chakra itself. There's a difference. When you first bring your awareness and attention to the chakra, well, maybe the first thing that presents itself is a quality of energy, certain color, certain feel, certain quality, and it's just the energy in and around the chakra that has really nothing to do with you. It's just kind of collected there. So that might be what you notice first, and then you kind of say hello to that, clear it out of the way, and then say hello to the chakra itself, and you may notice that the two very different things, right? And as you familiarize yourself with your actual chakra energy itself, that in a way has a curative effect in and of itself. The more awareness you have of your energy, it kind of naturally, the energy that's not you or yours will just kind of fall off. Naturally. It's like, oh, okay, that's not mine. And the recognition is all that's required a lot of times. Okay. So, in the next meditation, maybe we'll play with this a little bit, play with the aura. But you can play with, what is it like when I expand my aura? What is it like when I bring it close? Typically, like, you might want it like an arm's length around you, equal on every side. And then, today we're going to work with creating more space for yourself in your aura. Did anyone have the experience of, okay, I'm aware of my space, but it feels kind of full or cluttered or stuffy?
I don't know that mine is stuffy, but because as I mentioned once before, I've been going through these various different body ailments, I'll say. Mm-hmm. I've been very aware of the deadness of my energy, very, very aware. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure whether that's because of the, I'll say, illness, or whether that's because of, I don't know what, Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, some of that it's kind of like the stagnant or wasted energy, or the byproduct energy, or stuff that you're done with is
built up.
Yeah, you're noticing that you're releasing it. Some of it might just kind of be stagnant, sitting around, but even running your energy is going to have a significant effect on that process and clearing out the old stagnant, what you're done with.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant was, so how do I get rid of it? Yeah, which is what you're saying.
Yeah. So running your energy is going to be tremendously effective.
Okay.
In energy and movement, clearing out the old stuff. So, if you can run your energy every day for, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
it's gonna quicken the process.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tim, I've had the experience of just being drained going to the grocery store or other places like that. And I started to get more aware of my aura through some reading. And so I would make sure that my outer layer was really defending me from all the other things, the things in my surroundings that were draining me. And I don't do that anymore, but that really helped for a while.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a really great point. It's a lead in to what we're going to do next week. Okay. So often we imagine defending our space by making our space impenetrable, like a force field or something, and part of what we're doing in a way is creating a lot of resistance to energies that we're encountering or defending against it. And that's kind of a go-to as to how people tend to try to protect and defend their space. And so you may, and when you're walking around in a crowded place, you may encounter someone, you say, wow, they're really edgy, right? Because you're noticing that the edge of their space is full of pictures and energies that are saying things like, don't mess with me, I'm too busy, don't fuck with me, whatever their energies is saying, and it's like kind of like callous, hard, impenetrable. And so there's another way that we're going to work with doing that, work with protecting your space. There's a couple other ways to do that, and it'll at first seem very counterintuitive, but actually, when you protect your space in that way of defending impenetrable, well, what else are you unable to have, right? What else are you unable to be in contact with, experience, right? So in a way, we'll talk about that next week, okay? I don't want to get too much into it yet, but yeah, so planting a seed there. Planting a seed. So maybe as you move through your week, we're going to, start to be aware of your space and the space of others. And, notice, how big your aura is at different times in different arenas, different places, and just notice your energy of your space. And also you can, when you're walking past people, you can even just kind of tune in and be aware of, when do I encounter their space? Is their space a foot around them? Is it 10 feet around them? Just notice if you can start to sense, oh, okay, hi, yeah, I've just encountered that person's space. And this is an energetic space, right? Okay, so any other questions before we jump into working with this? Yeah, Julie?
I do have a question. I'm not familiar with feeling other people's space or my space. I have an assignment from another instructor to expand my aura, but I'm not successful doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the starting point for all these things is you start from a place of having certainty in spirit and start from a place of knowingness. So when you say, be aware in the center of your head, okay, I'm aware in the center of my head. And because you say I'm aware in the center of your head, you're aware in the center of your head. That's how easy it is in spirit. You know, it's not like the body. It's not like effort. It's not like you have to go from point A to point B. It's like I'm at point A and now I'm instantly at point B. Does that make sense? I'm on this side of the wall. Now I'm on that side of the wall. In spirit, it's that easy, right? So that's the first thing. Operating from that certainty in spirit, it's very easy. It's effortless. It's just kind of like I intend it to be. So it is. And then what happens next is then everything starts to catch up with that. You're seeing, you're feeling, your experience catches up with what you know already. So it's like, okay, I know that I'm in the center of my head. Okay, so I'm in the center of my head. Okay, what's that experience like? And then you start to build kind of a reservoir of what the experience of being in the center of your head is like. And then after a while, you're like, I'm aware in the center of my head. Oh yeah, that's that quality of neutrality that's familiar to the center of my head. Oh, that's the stillness that's familiar about being in the center of my head. So you start to build kind of a reservoir of experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The starting point is like knowing it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And so you can use that same thing in working with, okay, I'm being aware of my first chakra. So then whatever arises in your awareness has something to do with your first chakra, because you're being aware of your first chakra. Like that.
I was sort of intrigued that as we were doing the meditation, I thought of this enormous painting at church of Our Lady of Guadalupe and her concentric circles of aura going out and out and out.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, and I feel I'm like Julie. I don't think I can ever get out of myself. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I will sometime I will get out of my seventh chakra. But for me, it's very relaxing to do the meditations, but I don't really see any pictures or feel any differences between, the first chakra and the seventh chakra. But this was helpful to me. Because you're saying just know it, and your body will, your energy will catch up with it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In a way, it's like you're coming more and more, like you're having the experience of all these things more and more in your body. And you may not be having it so much in your body at first. It's like something you just kind of know in spirit that it's happening. And then it might take a little while to actually feel the energy running. But part of that is because knowing something is at such a higher vibration than feeling something. So it's way more comprehensive.
Yeah. Well, in a sense, I think I feel it because I just feel very peaceful with it. But I feel the same thing as you go through the chakras with each chakra. I don't see colors or pictures or, roses. But the whole thing feels good
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. No.
I have a question too about the seventh chakra. Is it when you say the center of your head, are you talking up here? Because the sixth chakra is the middle of the forehead, right?
Yeah. The center of the
So-
head would be more of something associated with the sixth chakra. So right behind, and
But
don't
it's inside,
yeah,
not just, okay.
yeah. So it's kind of like if you were to draw a line, like through the temple, down
Uh-huh.
through the center,
Okay.
somewhere like there. But it's not so much of a physical location.
Yeah.
It's a space.
Yeah.
It's an energetic space. So don't get
Is
too
it,
hung up.
I'm thinking of, the by way of Qigong,
Mhm.
because we start at the top with Qigong and go down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's practically the same thing. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the center of your head would be behind your forehead.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But when we get to the clairvoyant class, then we'll work a little bit more with kind of where you're looking at pictures and kind of making that adjustment. Right now, we're just kind of laying the groundwork, exercising, being aware of different aspects of the self system to just kind of start to light up some of the energies. And then we'll kind of get more and more into it. Okay. No worries. Wherever you're at is totally fine. All right. So let's start to get comfortable. And Mary, you may want to go back and listen to last class about creating and destroying roses. Because I don't remember you in the last Thursday class. So it's all recorded. It's on the YouTube station, okay? You probably got an email about it. Okay. All right, so start to get comfortable. Give yourself a few deep breaths. And let go of any concerns. And then be aware in the center of your head. From the center of your head, notice your grounding cord. Just notice that you're still connected from your first chakra to the center of the earth. Just take a look at the grounding cord, see how it's working for you, see how it's connected into the first chakra and to the center of the earth. And then be aware of running earth energy. Be aware of the cosmic energy coming in at the crown, coming down the back channels to the first chakra. Then notice the earth and cosmic energy mixing at a first chakra level and engaging the front channels, coming up through each chakra. All the way up to the crown and fountaining out of the top of the head Also branching off at the shoulders, at the chest, coming down the arms and out the hands. Okay, so you're running your energy. Okay. And then from the center of your head, create a rose directly in front of your forehead, about a foot in front. And notice the space between the center of your head, where you're looking from, and the rose. So this is your space to be. And even though from a body perspective, it might only look like a foot of space, in spirit, it's limitless amount of space. And then allow that rose to collect up any energies between the center of your head and that rose. Any foreign energies, limiting thoughts, beliefs, feelings, images that are in that space, have them all kind of float into the rose in front of you. Okay, and then decide you're done with that rose, and you can explode it. And then create another rose about a foot in front of you. And with great amusement, neutrality, compassion, this time imagine the space between where you're looking in the center of your head and the rose that you just created a foot in front of your forehead. Imagine that space to be light wherever you're occupying it, and dark wherever foreign energies are occupying it. And then allow all those, all the dark spots to float into the rose. And then watch that rose explode. So you're creating more space for the limitless and eternal spirit that you are. More space to be. So do it one more time. Create a rose about a foot in front of your forehead. And notice how the space between where you're looking and this rose has started to shift. Is it a little bit lighter? Have you created a little bit more space for yourself? Now this time, choose to be happy with yourself without having to change first. Choose to love yourself before you've made any adjustments, before you've changed in any way. And see if this changes your space as well. Okay. And then allow any other energies between where you're looking and this rose that you're ready to release, and have it go into that rose. Then explode it. Okay, so that's one way to create more space for yourself. Okay, Now this time, imagine seeing your space like a bubble of energy around your body in all directions. Imagine it being about an arm's length around you, in front, to the sides, to the back, arm's length above you, arm's length below you. You're surrounded by a bubble of energy. And then imagine this bubble of energy expanding, maybe as big as the actual physical space that you're in. So expand it to include the whole space that you're in. And then notice what it's like to have an expanded aura in this way. You may notice that as you expand your aura to include your whole physical space, that you're more aware of your physical space. You may feel more responsible for it. Okay? And then see your aura coming in to be about a foot or about an arm's length around you. So maybe that's about 2 feet around you in each direction. Okay? And then imagine creating a rose in your aura and have that rose go around your whole space and act as like a vacuum and just kind of collect up any energies that you're ready to let go of. So you can do this systematically, you can do it layer by layer, or however you imagine it. You can even imagine the rose just kind of staying in one place and spinning and vacuuming up or attracting any foreign energies that are hanging out in your space. And then when that rose is saturated with energy that it's collecting, now this time imagine it out of your space, out of your house even, imagine it in your street, in front of your house, and blow it up in the street, just for fun. Okay. And then say hello to that space around you again. Now this time, I want you to ground the 7th layer of your aura, ground the 6th layer of your aura. Just imagine it right in front of you, like a picture. Ground the 5th layer of your aura, the 4th layer of your aura, 3rd layer, 2nd layer, 1st layer. Okay? And then imagine taking gold energy. Imagine that your psychic hands running gold energy through the 7th layer of your aura. Just give it a little healing. And then run gold energy through the 6th layer of your aura. Kind of smooth it out, give it a little healing. And you can notice any energies just releasing down the grounding cord that you just gave it. And then run gold energy through the 5th layer of your aura. And then the 4th layer of the aura. You're giving it a healing. Gold energy is like the energy of forgiveness, non-resistance. Then run the gold energy through the 3rd layer of the aura. And then the 2nd layer of the aura. And then your 1st layer, which is the layer that's closest to your body. Okay, be aware in the center of your head. Notice what that's like as your energy, space, and awareness changed. And then, just for fun, create a rose in front of you. Be completely neutral to the rose. Have some amusement, however it looks, however you imagined it to be. And then see the rose explode. Like fireworks, or however you imagine that. And then from the center of your head, check your grounding cord, check running earth and cosmic energies. Say hello to the space around you, how your space has changed, how it feels. It may feel totally different. And then create a big gold sun above you. And also notice if you have more space to be. And a big gold sun above you. Imagine this gold sun being as big as your entire aura. And full of your life force and energy, your love for life, celebration of life, vitality. You can even imagine collecting up any quality of energy that you feel like you could use a little bit more of. Healing for your body, amusement, gratitude, love. Have those qualities go into the rose or into the sun. And then bring this gold sun down and fill up your whole chakra system, starting at your 7th, your whole body and your whole space simultaneously. All the way down to your feet, even part of it goes down your grounding cord. Be totally full of yourself. In the good way. And then you can start to come out of meditation, bend over, dump out. All right. How's that for people? I kind of introduced a handful of things into the mix there. You can always go back and watch this again, or go back and watch the last week's class to review creating and destroying roses. And did anyone notice feeling like there was more space to be as they cleared out some space from their aura? Yeah.
It felt lighter to me.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it was so very bright and I was becoming very light, just floating like out there.
Yeah.
It was a great awareness. It was a very energizing, I'll say, very energizing awareness. Just how much was out there that I wasn't seeing, I'll say, you know.
Around you, your aura.
Yes, in my aura.
Yes. Yeah, in a way, from a physical standpoint, you might say, oh, that rose is a foot in front of me. But the space between your awareness center and that rose can be limitless. Okay?
That's sort of what was happening, yeah.
It's not a space. It's not a foot in front of you. It's, you know, and same with your aura. Like, imagine how much information and energy they can store on a little computer chip.
Yeah.
Right? And then you imagine having this whole space around you. That's all energy. Actually, it's an enormous amount of space, an enormous amount of data that we can, you know, they say there's more neurons in the human brain than there are stars in the known galaxy, you know? And it's like we have an enormous amount of space to be. So why do we sometimes feel limited, confined, stuffed? Well, those are just energies and pictures. That's not the truth. So this is a way to start to be able to just clear that out.
Do that.
Clear out the limitations. Yeah. Mary, I think you had a question, huh? Oh, I think you're on mute.
When you first said, you know, create a rose in front of you, mine was about a foot away until you said, you gave a sense of a farther dimension than a foot. So my thought was, well, I suppose I keep my rose pretty close to me, usually, because it seemed pretty close when I first started.
No, yeah, that's exactly right, though. Yeah, you create the rose a foot in front of you, or thereabout. Because what you're doing is you're actually looking at the rose on your psychic screen, which is out in front of your forehead. And, you know, we haven't really talked about your psychic screen yet.
Okay.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. But typically for most people, it's about a foot in front, sometimes 6 inches in front, but it's out in front. At least the main screen is out in front.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing which I noted, which was really interesting, was the vacuum cleaner, the vacuum where you cleared out the space inside your aura. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's, you know, some of it is like, on some level, we're like, do I have permission to use the tool in this way or that way? And like, yeah, you do.
So what's the tool? I'm not getting.
Well, just any tool, you know, like these are just mental.
So it's like an emptying tool or something, clearing.
Yeah, you can use, that's what's cool about roses, creating and destroying roses, is you can take the symbol of a rose. And the reason we use the symbol of a rose is because for most people, a rose is just more or less a neutral image. You know, it's just a symbol that's relatively neutral for most people. So you just imagine this rose, and you can use the rose to collect up your energy and bring it back to yourself. You can use a rose to put, you know, you can use a rose to actually read the energy of something. So you say, okay, I want to look at the energy of my body. And you mock up a rose on your screen and you look at the energy of your body by reading the energy of the rose. Right? So there's lots of ways to work with it. You know, you can, last week we used a rose to just create and destroy. So you can create a rose of any color and just create and destroy. And as you're doing that, you're clearing up energetic space for yourself at that vibration, at that bandwidth.
Well, maybe this is just a point of interest for me, is that a rose has lots of meaning for me. Yeah. In my history of personal imagery, so I can just kind of let that go, the literal experience of it. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
This is a different rose.
That was my question, Tim, which is kind of at this late date, is that I am having difficulty with the image of the rose. Yeah. It's a neutral image for me. So how does that affect just being able to practice? Or
is it difficulty with seeing a rose?
No.
Or difficulty with what energy is contained in a rose? in the symbol of a rose? The second?
The second, yes.
Okay, yeah. So what you can do is actually create the image of the rose, and you can kind of, in a way, you can deprogram the energy that is contained in that symbol for you by creating a rose off to the side of it and allowing the rose to be released of all that it symbolizes for you, right? And then run gold through it and kind of heal the symbol of the rose. I mean, this is a little bit more advanced, but you know, it's similar to the way that objects, you know, it's like I was watching this show because I was bored, I suppose, but it was a show about, you know, people would bring objects to this guy that would fix the objects, or it was a violin from the time of the Holocaust. And it was the person, it was a Jewish woman that played the violin at the concentration camp as people were marching to their death, right? And so you know, obviously that's a very charged thing, but you think about the energy that objects contain, you know, and it can, and the actual vibration of that's in that violin from all those years, right? So if you were to encounter that violin and you were sensitive to reading the energy of it, maybe you had it, put it in your hands. They call it psychometry, where you would put the object in your hands and then you read the energy. You might get images or thoughts, or know what's in that object. Well, and then you can also, because everything is energy, you can deprogram that object of those energies. Right? Does that make sense? You can deprogram it. And the same thing can happen for us with symbols. You know, there's infinite amount of symbols, and imagine how much energy is contained in various symbols, you know? And, you know, there's no reason to be the effect of what those symbols contain. You know, you can release it. And then it might actually give you an opportunity to clear some of those pictures that are there for you around that symbol, just for the hell of it, right? But that's a lot of sidetracked information. Yeah.
Initially, the aura was so warm and comforting, almost like a warm blanket. And by the end, it just became so expansive.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Tim?
Yeah.
When we first did this activity, I had a lot of connections, energy, whatever, all around a rose. Mm-hmm. And so this was last year, and it was difficult to blow it up and all of that. And mm-hmm. So I just let that go, and my next image was a basket. Mm-hmm. And then another time, the next time after that, I had an image of a very smooth bowl, wooden bowl, very smooth.
Yeah.
And this recently, in these past few sessions, mm-hmm. my image is a crystal bowl, mm-hmm. because I don't feel any attachment to it.
Yeah.
I didn't have any connection like I do to the rose, mm-hmm. and it was sort of difficult to separate things, all my associations about a rose. Yeah. But having this, particularly now, this past 3 sessions, having this just crystal bowl, mm-hmm. was more helpful to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that it doesn't matter what, if we have a rose or what we have, mm-hmm. as long as we can do what we need to do in terms of mm-hmm. letting it go through there and exploding and getting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the same effect. In a way, what you're saying is this is a unit. This is like a unit of energy. And like the rose is like a unit, or like something that symbolizes like a unit of energy that you're blowing up. So if that unit of energy is maybe you're looking at a picture, just like you'd hold a picture frame in front of you, and that's a unit of energy, and in that unit of energy contains everything that the picture contains, and then you set the corner of it on fire and watch it burn. Like there's ways to, or like it's a bubble. You see a bubble, and then you pop the bubble with a feather.
So I was assuming that it didn't matter what the container was, as long as I didn't have, as long as it was neutral.
Not necessarily, yeah. I don't.
Neutral?
Yeah. Yeah. The effect will be the same. You're still clearing the energy.
Okay, with something neutral?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But are you also saying that if we have an attachment to roses, for example, that it's good to clear that energy?
Yeah, I say waste no opportunity. That it's like that whatever's contained in that symbol for you is like a little treasure trove. Don't miss out on it. So you look at what that contains for you, and then get the information, and then you can clear it of that. And you may find that as you do that, the more and more neutral a rose you become to a rose. And that'll be kind of this great opportunity to validate kind of the effects of the use of some of the tools for yourself. So every time you notice, oh, there's a shift or a change after I use a certain tool, then take a moment to validate that in your own awareness, because that actually will help to create more awareness. Like, oh, I used a rose and I cleared my space, and then you kind of check into your experience, what that's like for you, what's changed in your awareness, quality, the energy, and kind of validate that. That makes sense? Because you're kind of validating the bringing more awareness to the experience, so you can have more of a reservoir of experience around self-awareness. And that actually will help to build the recognition of all that you're perceiving psychically. Because like I said in 2 classes ago maybe, is that it's not a matter of whether you're seeing the energy. You are all the time seeing the energy. It's not something that will happen in the future. It's happening now. But the recognition of that which you are aware of, you may only recognize a certain spectrum of it, and that recognition will grow. So it's really becoming more and more conscious in your abilities. You already have them. It's not something you're going to get down the road.
I had a really different experience with the grounding cord, where usually it's a fairly, well, maybe 5-inch diameter cord. But this time it was, and it usually goes to my left, where I have some bursitis. And I was like, no, I really wanted to go straight down this time. And so it was this massive trunk. And similar to a wooden sculpture I have, which is very small, but this was a massive kind of trunk, and I was sitting on it like Buddha, and it was a very different experience. So as you're describing, to be aware of differences, because a shift might indicate some new awareness. I'm paying attention to what you're saying.
Yes, that's great. That's great. And you have more awareness of having your grounding. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, so a lot of this is creating the space in these classes and the meditations that you do, and just in your day-to-day life. And you're kind of giving yourself space to have more awareness. And then it kind of just will happen as time goes on. Like these tools that I'm introducing in each class are psychoactive, meaning that they're going to continue to work on you in your awareness, whether you're consciously choosing to be aware of it or not. And so over time, as it starts to integrate in, then you'll just kind of start to do some of these things. Or you'll notice that, oh, most of the time I'm grounded. Most of the time I'm running my energy. And then, even when you're not in meditation. And then what's really interesting is when it shows up in your dreams. And you're in a dream, and then you're like, whoa, I just blew a rose in my dream. Or I was grounding in my dream, or I was running my energy in my dream, or I was reading energy in my dream, or something like that. You start to bring some of these things into your dream space. That's another sign of integrating the material deeper and deeper. And then you're having it kind of on a more subtle level, or you're having awareness of using the tools at a more subtle state of awareness. Okay. Cool. All right. Any other final questions before we wrap things up?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I found myself literally sobbing about huge tracts of farmland that are up for sale, and thinking about food security for the future generations and the blacktop versus the farmland. And I'm wondering if I'm more connected to the earth or more sensitive to the trauma of the earth, because I am learning more and maybe more aware of what I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that does speak to the level of your consciousness, and kind of your sphere of identification, what I mean by that, that you kind of feel connected in to the earth in a more profound way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when you're walking through life, going through the stores and stuff, most people are worried about what they're going to eat for dinner. Right? Or what's on their docket for tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Tim.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I joined this course, because I need help with that also.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you live through a time like we're living through right now when you're aware of what's happening to the planet?
Right.
I mean, without
getting sick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard that acres and acres of farmland, and I thought of the trauma that nature already has been experienced. during the agricultural revolution that wiped out the forest or the prairie or the remnant that was there that hosted species that are going extinct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
One of the
it's
things
already been traumatized, the land.
Yeah.
that I remember going on a retreat once with a Native American, and that was one of the things that they taught us to do when they do their dance. They step into the earth, and so they're constantly attaching to the earth. And again, the discussion today just brought to mind that idea of stepping into the earth and that connecting. You're constantly connecting, and how awful it is, especially for our Native Americans at this time, again, who've always had that connection with the earth that we have, ignored. We've tried to keep ourselves separate from. So it's a lot of pain that the earth is feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big question for everyone. But, I guess the one thing that I would say about it as a starting point is that when you engage in practices like this, or meditation, or pretty much anything that connects you to the evolutionary currents, the patterns of spirits evolving nature, so to speak, that you're tuning in to the will and way of spirit in you, with you, and through you. And so there's a way in which there's a lot that we can't control, right? There's a lot of energy and grief and suffering that we can't solve in our space, even though we might be keenly and painfully aware of it all. And that, there may be a tendency, especially for people like all of you that are really good healers, to want to heal all of that, to want to fix all of that, make sense of all that, solve all that, right? And some of it is that you might not be able to solve it in your space. That actually the answer is to let it go. And that doesn't mean not to act, not to respond, not to serve, not to be a healing force in the world, or any of that, but that as you release some of that extra stuff that we tap into or match to or collect, that you'll actually have more space to be healing, more space to be loving, more space to respond in ways that are aligned and appropriate and connected into the will and way of spirit in you, with you, and through you, in alignment with your mission, your purpose, your uniqueness, right? So I think exercises, spiritual practice like this, connects us in to kind of the current of our own path, and which then will give us, and in a way you could say, well, what are all these abilities for? Like, well, in a way, it's to give you not only ways to have greater communication and connection with others, with spirit, with yourself, with nature, with the universe, but also to give you guidance so that you know what's right and appropriate for you, I don't know. There's a lot there.
Thanks, Tim.
Do you think that we could, I always feel that connection with the earth is almost like us directly connecting and soothing the earth also, as well as taking from the earth, giving back to. It's kind of like we do, when we ground ourselves and you take the cosmic energy and you mix it in yourself. And I keep thinking that connection is so important because it's again, realizing that we are different by, I always love that saying that we are made of stardust. And, this is us. I mean, these are the same atoms that we're made of. And, we just are blessed with consciousness of it. So I really think that's why at this particular time, walking is so good, getting out in nature, feeling that connection to the earth again that we've lost. So just kind of feelings I've had with it.
Yeah. And I think that, and I really think that this, like many spiritual practices, there's so many different ways to engage in waking up and growing up, but that this can be an effective method to not only waking up to who you are in spirit, or spirit, as awareness, but also to grow up in your consciousness, the structures of your consciousness, right? So that your sense of identity becomes larger and larger and larger. Your sense of connectedness becomes larger and larger and more inclusive. In a way, you could say that we come out of the earth, that we are very intricately connected to the earth. And so what we're doing in our own awareness in space directly connects into the whole planetary system. It helps to affect the consciousness of the whole planetary system as it's unfolding, evolving.
That's pretty cool.
All of what you said, it helped me with learning these tools.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So keep playing, keep having fun with these tools and goofing around, get into some trouble.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye,
And
everyone.
remember, if you're interested in the next section, where Tim will go into more detail about each chakra, there's still time to sign up for that.
Thank you.
We can do it next week. We could sign up next week.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, thank you, everybody. Thank you.